Hey, all you hot listeners, this is episode 26 of Husband and Wife Talks. Thank you all for being here. This episode, we'll be discussing what we did over Thanksgiving. We went to an amusement park down in Tampa, which was a lot of fun. We were able to make a lot of great food. We ran on Thanksgiving. We did a 4K turkey trot, which was a blast and also a little tiring. And we also got to play the best sport in the world, disc golf. Stay tuned. Hey, Marta!
Hey, Adam.
How's it going, my love?
It's going good.
We're back at it again. Wednesday, November 28th. We're a little late because we flew back on Monday.
Got back at 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
1:30 a.m.
Yeah, so we didn't get much sleep, and then we had to work the next day because we're cray-cray. Yeah.
Not that cray-cray. We're okay.
But I was beat after working on Tuesday, and I just wanted to relax with you, Marta, on Tuesday
But
night.
I was over here on the couch napping away. Took 2 naps before I went to bed.
2 30-minute naps, and then slept for 9.5 hours or so.
Almost like a toddler. But anyway.
But it was a good sleep because I was tired too. I think it was well deserved. Well, it was needed, not well deserved, but it was needed. And now I am more energized for recording today, this Wednesday,
Excellent.
the 28th. It feels like Tuesday because we're off on Monday, but it's Wednesday.
I wasn't off. I worked.
Oh, that's true. You did work because you're
Yeah.
remote.
Yeah. So for me, it feels like a Wednesday, unfortunately. Or fortunately, it's hump day, so that's good.
But this 28th of November, you can celebrate 3 different holidays. Holidays, quote unquote. National French Toast Day. Who doesn't love themselves some French toast? Do you like French toast, babe?
I do.
That reminds me of the Denver Biscuit Company, where you can upgrade your biscuits to be French toast style when you have like sandwiches or something sweet.
So good.
Delicious, yet so filling and calorie filled, but we'll ignore that part. Next is National Package Protection Day. All right, get the giggles out now, Marta. Get the giggles out now.
This is not a joke, Adam. Package Protection Day is the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, and it was founded by Ring.com to alert citizens to protect their valuable purchases, especially during the high-traffic holiday season.
So it started last year. That's basically what I'm getting at. Because Ring is relatively new. And it was a pretty ingenious idea. They solved the problem of seeing who's at your door when they knock instead of having to look through the window. You can sit on the couch so you don't have to get close if they're dangerous. Girl, you're so dangerous. Girl, you're a bad... Okay. Final is the Rockefeller Center tree lighting. So that's where they light the tree in Rockefeller Center in New York City. I always think it'd be cool to go see it, but I've heard that it's so packed, and I can't even imagine how packed it is specifically for this event.
Yeah, I've been to New York City a few times, and every time it's so crowded and so many people, and I'm just like, I prefer to not be here. I think during college one year, maybe freshman year, we briefly talked about, my friends and I talked about going to the Times Square for New Year's Eve, but then we learned that people camp out there since like the morning or the night before for like 12, 18, 24 hours. And I was like, I don't really think it's worth it to me because you're waiting so long for like a few minutes of like being in the live action and seeing everything that's going on.
That's like me thinking it's not worth it to go to like the New Year's Eve celebration in New York Times Square or whatever with the ball dropping.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rockefeller Center tree lighting.
New Year's Eve. I said New Year's Eve in Times Square.
I zoned out, I guess, and didn't hear that part.
Wow.
I thought you were specifically talking about this. I apologize.
Hot listeners, go back and rewind.
Apparently, I need the 10.5 hours of sleep so I can specifically...
that reminds me of... I'm just going to repeat this thing you literally just were talking about for 3 minutes.
That's why I thought of it, because you actually mentioned it, but I subconsciously... Because I'm trying to do other things over here, getting the Google Docs situated on my laptop, but also making sure the sound levels are proper, since we just started recording and I don't want anything to be lost. But that's no excuse. I should have
No excuse. You should be listening.
I apologize. But yeah, I would not want to go to that because it's packed to the max.
Yeah. Anyway, besides hating on New York City's busyness.
But yeah, I was saying the camping out reminded me of
the thing that you...
No. I was going to say it's the University of Maryland versus Duke game that used to take place all the time, where people from university or students from at the University of Maryland would camp out in a long line to get good seats for the Duke Maryland rivalry game, except for now we don't really play Duke that often since we're not in the ACC. F Duke. Am I right?
That's right.
Sorry if there's any... no, I'm not sorry if there's any Duke listeners out there. I don't like your basketball team. It's simple as that. But I guess we should get into what we've been up to.
Yeah.
It was Thanksgiving.
Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
And happy belated Black Friday. Happy belated
Cyber Monday.
Small Business Saturday. Happy belated Cyber Monday. Yeah. Happy belated Giving Tuesday. And now, happy actual National Package Protection Day. I don't know why you're giggling.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because you're buying all this stuff online, and then you have to protect your package.
And you also have to give away
Protecting your package is very important, Adam.
Gotta give that package away, and then you have to protect it.
No, you don't give it away. You got it delivered.
That's what Giving Tuesday is.
You're not giving away your
package.
package.
Out your package.
No, you're giving away money or donations. You're not giving a package.
Well,
you're receiving packages. Because you're receiving the packages, and you're protecting the received packages.
Exactly. You're giving the packages away on Tuesday.
Gosh, you're not giving away. So you are telling me you're going to buy stuff on Amazon or wherever you shop online, and you're going to get it on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, and then on Tuesday you're going to give what you received in your package to somebody else.
I mean, it's called a gift, right? You buy stuff on Amazon all the time as a gift.
No, most of it's for myself.
Okay. Good to know.
And I think the giving is more like donation based, not giving as in giving gifts. That's what people do usually on Christmas.
But yeah, last week, around this time,
1 week ago,
we were in the Denver airport traveling to Tampa for Thanksgiving.
And guess, before we move on,
I know, I saw it already.
Okay,
this is why I brought up the Google Doc. I wasn't paying attention.
Just if you're listening and whether or not you travel for Thanksgiving or any other holidays, this is actually my first time celebrating Thanksgiving not with my family and traveling for a holiday, because I've also never had to fly for any sort of holiday. So lots of firsts for me. But guess how long the security line at the Denver airport was at around 4:35.
Do we need to wait for one of our listeners to respond through email?
No, we
just
don't.
Sit here.
But just think about how long you would expect security to take around 4:35 p.m. the day before Thanksgiving on quote unquote the most travel, the busiest travel day or whatever.
If you're listening on YouTube, comment below.
It took us 7 minutes. 7. Not 70, not 17, 7. So you already took us 70. Now I'm messing up. 7.
You got so excited, you just got confuzzled.
Like the 7 from Friends, if you watch Friends.
It's not related to that at all. And don't even. I guess the feeling is kind of mutual.
Ew.
Of being able to get through that line quickly.
So I'm sure a lot of airports have this, but the Denver airport has on their airport site, they have security wait times that are estimated, but they're pretty accurate. So knowing that the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is a crazy travel day, and I've never traveled before, we were planning on getting to the airport extra early, and I was monitoring the wait times throughout the day just to see if at some point it was an hour, 2 hours or whatever. And there's 2 security lines and neither got above 30 minutes. I was like, oh, that's so weird. And we didn't check any bags, so we were literally, our only waiting time was going to be at security. And we got there, and the one security line said it was 10 minutes, and then we got there, and I timed it, and it took 7. And we were so excited.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it goes to show that Denver International Airport is rated number 1
by Wall Street Journal, I think, or U.S. News, one of the big news ranking systems.
I don't know. I really like the.
I really like the airport. Yeah,
it's pretty well laid out. Pretty well. Security is normally really quick. And also, a lot of times to go to the same place, like wherever you need to go, you just go to the one area. You don't have to drive to different sections. It's not like section off in different terminal areas.
Yeah, because there's the main terminal, and there's East Terminal and West Terminal, but it's literally just the east and west side of the same building. So, for example, we park in the long-term parking, and then we take a shuttle. And we learned, since we don't check any bags, we can just get off at the first stop, regardless of whether or not it's our airline, because you walk from either east or west, you walk towards the center for security, and then there's a north and south, so it's kind of just like a big
square
grid or square, more rectangular, I guess. But yeah,
I like
the airport.
That airport's pretty fantastic, especially with but I looked back as we got through, and it seemed like the line was starting to form a lot longer. For the security, so maybe we just got lucky and got at the right time where it was just we were able to fly through.
Although there's only been one. We haven't flown out of that airport that often.
Soon.
A handful of times. We will be soon.
Yeah, because we have a decent amount of trips. It seems like.
Oh,
not enough for my love.
Anyway, the longest, I was expecting the day before last Wednesday when we traveled for it to be the longest wait time, but surprisingly the longest I ever waited in the line, it was, you're probably not familiar with the Denver airport unless you've traveled there, but it's like any wait line where it just has like the zigzag back and forth. So when I got there, when I traveled for Labor Day to visit my family in Maryland, the line was all the way through all of those switchbacks, then it went down all the way down this really long hallway with like 2 or 3 more switchbacks, and then it was going like towards the entrance, and then you took another right, and then towards the entrance, like almost by baggage claim. And I got there and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss my flight, because I think I probably got there like an hour and a half before, if that, and I saw that line. I was like, oh goodness.
That's why I always try to get at least 2 hours prior to when you are the flight's supposed to take off, because
but it only took 30 minutes.
You board 30 minutes ahead of time, so just give that ear cushion.
Yeah,
because who knows how security is. But I wanted to give a shout out to Tampa Airport, because I do like their setup too, where it's a main area where you go to, but it branches off to different terminals like A, B, or C, and then each individual one has their own security line, which makes it less packed.
Tampa Airport's really small.
Yeah.
Like compared to some other airports.
But they have a good amount of gates, though. I think if you tally up, however many, it's probably a medium-sized airport.
Yeah.
But it probably feels smaller because you just go to that one area, then you go to the branching terminal, and then it's just that one small terminal. And I don't know, other terminals could be larger in Southwest. That area is just like a hub, or not a hub, but a smaller section because they have less Southwest flights there. I don't know.
Who knew we could talk about airports for so long?
Crazy.
Thrilling topic.
But for Thanksgiving, I mentioned last week that we were planning on making pecan pie or pecan cranberry tart or whatever you want to call it.
Pecan cranberry tart is the official name.
We made pumpkin cheesecake. I'm just giggling at what you just added.
Pumpkin cheesecake is delicious.
Pumpkin cheesecake pie, which was delicious as well.
It's not a pie. It's pumpkin cheesecake.
It's a pie.
But the title is pumpkin cheesecake. It's in a pie form. Like you make the crust. Yeah. The crust is what's in the crust? Ginger snap cookies.
The crust is what made it like really good.
I like everything.
Was good too.
And I like the candied pecans on the top. Mm-hmm. Those are really good too. Literally the whole pie.
Did we describe how we made it last time? Like what you were supposed to do?
I don't think we went through the recipe.
But basically, you make the original crust, which is just ginger snaps, which are a little spicy to them. Have a little spice.
If you eat them by themselves.
Yeah. And pecans, and then melted butter, basically, and you blend it all together.
And sugar.
Brown sugar. Yeah, brown sugar is added to that.
I just looked it up, so yeah.
And then you pat it down on a pie pan. Then you make the pumpkin cheesecake with cream cheese and pumpkin puree and all that good stuff. And I really like the filling because it didn't feel... Because I know when I have pumpkin pie filling or like the middle of it just plain without the crust, it doesn't taste that great. But when I would have this pie and just would have the filling by itself, it was still delicious. But you end up filling the pie like you normally would, and then baking it. Which baking it was another thing because the recipe calls for 35 to 40 minutes, and you have to stick a knife through it and make sure it comes out clean. Never came out clean in the 40 minutes. It seemed like it took like an hour to 65 minutes.
So I have a theory. I just pulled up the recipe. If you're listening to us and you're salivating, it's Google pumpkin cheesecake and then Williams Sonoma, and it'll come up. It's literally called pumpkin cheesecake, and it's on the Williams Sonoma website. But I just had a revelation, Adam. So we made the pumpkin cheesecake in like a glass pie pan, but this says to use a 9-inch springform pan.
What's a springform pan?
Google it. It's like one of those metal ones.
Oh, and metal does hold heat more. Does it hold heat more? I thought glass is supposed to hold heat for longer, but metal may heat up quicker. I don't know.
I'm not really sure, but I think that's the issue.
That the different type of pans? Yeah, because that could throw off the cooking process of it.
I think it definitely did.
We used a glass pan, and it took a good amount longer. It still turned out well.
And I first got not confused, but I looked at the picture just now, and it looks more like a cake shape rather than a pie, and I was like, that's weird. And then I looked at that first step. Because, I mean, I don't remember what I used when I used to make it with my mom in the past. I thought we used a glass pan, too.
Maybe that's why it would look more like cheesecake if you used that pan specifically.
Yeah.
Because then it would be, the sides would be higher up. Or the edges. But it still turned out great. I loved it. And then afterwards, when you're about to serve it, because you have to refrigerate it afterwards, you make like these candy pecans. So you just chop up a certain amount of pecans, put them in like a saucepan or a frying pan with butter, and then add some sugar. And then you just heat it all up until the sugar basically melts, then let it cool a little bit, and then, that's for my boy AK out there.
Anyway, was that your favorite dessert?
It was both were good.
But you liked the cheese. I
like the pumpkin cheesecake
more. I used
more.
to not like pumpkin cheesecake, but then I think it really grew on me this weekend after I ate it like 5 days in a row.
Mm-hmm. Then we made some more.
Yeah, we made more on some Monday or Sunday.
I think we got the most use out of that oven.
Yeah, more use than your mom.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, so I made cornbread muffins for Thanksgiving, which is a pretty easy recipe. You mix like flour, sugar, frozen corn kernels, cornmeal, and some other stuff. You can just Google any recipe.
And it's pretty easy, straightforward to make.
Yeah. But I love these cornbread muffins, and I made 24 of them on Thanksgiving. So I just made 1 dozen muffin pans worth, and they didn't all go on Thanksgiving because we didn't have that many people and not everybody had one. So we had some left over, and I would like eat some here and there. And then we decided, Adam and I, or really it was just me, I pushed for it.
Yeah, don't say Adam and I. It was all you. Like,
I decided that I wanted to make more cornbread muffins on, I think this was on Sunday. Or
the day before we were going to leave.
Oh, yeah, it was Sunday because I remember I was in the kitchen all day and your brother was watching football most of the day. And I was like kind of looking over to see if the Ravens were winning because it was on. He was watching Red Zone.
Yeah, as he was like screaming at the TV because his players weren't doing well. Draft better than Dave.
Dang. Sorry, shots fired. I don't even know if he listens, but if he does,
also,
sorry.
I want to give an update on this fantasy football league because I remember Marta wanted to give an update back when she beat me.
Okay, you literally just interrupted my story. Can you throw shade at me after I finish my story?
Okay, sure. I wasn't going to throw shade at you. I was just going to say that I'm in first place now. So
you're going to gloat.
Yeah, I was going to gloat a little bit.
Anyway, my story's hilarious. So then on Sunday, I decided to make more cornbread muffins, and because they're so good, even though we were leaving on Monday, I knew we wouldn't finish them all. And then Monday, like before we leave, I think your grandma said that she had hidden one she hid a muffin, and then she's like, I was afraid Marta was going to eat all of them. I was like, is this the impression I've left? And at that point, there were 7 muffins left, and it was Monday afternoon. So in the span of 24 hours with 4 to 5 people in the house, only 5 muffins had gone, which means, I mean, I know I ate 1 on Sunday, 1 on Monday, but 3 others were eaten by other people. I didn't eat all 5.
Yeah, but you got the impression because you ate 3 on, I think, Thanksgiving, right?
Or the day after. One day I didn't eat many meals, and I just ate the muffins because they were so good.
And that's where I think Mom got the impression that you were going to eat them all.
But she was so funny. She hid one, and then she was like, I didn't know if Marta was going to eat all of them. I was like, oh, goodness.
And then I love the way she, like, tries to tell, or not tell stories, but, like, says something like she did something, like, secretive. She gets all quiet. It's like, I hid a muffin over here because I wasn't sure if they were going to be around. Old ladies. They're so cute.
She was really funny, and it made me laugh because I was like, what if I was going to eat all of them and she did have to save one? That would be so savage of me. But
she chose a pretty good hiding spot. I didn't notice it at all.
I mean, I'm not going to dig through your mom's kitchen, so I wouldn't have found it.
That was pretty funny. But other than that, I think Thanksgiving, we were 4 for 4 with the meals that we've made. The cornbread muffins people liked. Stuffing, everyone enjoyed. And the 2 desserts were delicious.
Yes.
Uncle Dave liked the pecan tart more. Just FYI. So there's one for that. So are you leaning now towards the pumpkin cheesecake over the tart, or what?
No, I like them both equally.
Yeah, they're both good.
The cheesecake is really sweet, but the pecan is just a classic, and I like the texture of it, and I don't feel as full after eating it because it doesn't have cream cheese.
Yeah.
So cream cheese is really dense and filling.
Yeah. But it was delicious all around, and my baby is a great cook and baker.
Yep, I am a great cook. So if you're ever looking for some tips on cooking, let me know, and I'll help you out as long as I get some food in return.
But before all of that cooking and eating on Thanksgiving, we decided to run off some calories and do a turkey trot.
Yes.
You want to give some background on what exactly a turkey trot is, since you're the one that thought of this.
Sure.
You're the one that pushed for this idea, and I think it was fun.
Well, first of all, got to start with a reference to a meme. And I saw a meme the other day, or not the other day, like a week or 2 ago before Thanksgiving. And it was like, I hope I don't marry, or no, it was something about marrying into a family that does 5Ks on Thanksgiving and like how that was horrible. And I was like, I've actually never done, I mean, every Thanksgiving I've celebrated with my family. So I've never, and we, like, I always wake up at home and literally just cook with my mom all day, and we'll talk, and it's just a nice tradition. I really like it. But I've never done a turkey trot, even though throughout high school and college I knew when people were going back home that they were doing a turkey trot either with their family or friends, but that was never a thing in my family. But also none of us are really into running. So despite me doing a half marathon in 3 months.
Really, I think you're in the minority if you like running. Let's be real.
I don't know. The statistics. But anyway, so I'd never done one before, and I was like, well, I mean, running in late November in Maryland is probably risky because it could be really, really cold. Mm-hmm. But in Florida, I mean, you risk it being humid, but that's to be expected. But it's not as cold, so I figured, maybe doing a turkey trot would be okay. And I knew I wasn't going to be cooking all day because I'm not like at my parents' house and I'm not making literally everything. So I had the idea to do it, and then this was like months ago, and then I think we decided not to because we were supposed to land at midnight, and the turkey trot started at like 7 or 8, so we weren't going to get much sleep. But then actually your mom emailed us being like, there's a turkey trot in Clearwater, Florida. I was like, yeah, I knew that. And then we decided to do it. We did the 4K, not because we're wimpy and couldn't do the 5K, but because the 4K started the latest out of all the races they had, which was 8:15, I think they started, or 8:30.
But it was a little.
But they got
a little delayed.
Yeah,
to say the least. But there was a lot of people there. More than I expected.
So many. And so many people, because they were lining up for the 1 miler, I think, that was right before us. Mm-hmm. So everyone was just mixed in. It was so disorganized. But there was so many people that looked like they were doing the 1 miler and even R4K with strollers, like running, pushing the stroller. And I was very impressed. I hope I can be the kind of mom that has the patience and also energy to run while pushing a stroller.
Then have your kids instruct you to go faster.
It was really cute. There was a couple where the dad and the mom were both pushing like a 1-child stroller, because there's like strollers where you can put 2 kids or 3 or whatever, but they were both pushing just like 1 kid, and they were racing each other, and it looked cute and fun. And then there was another family where, or maybe it's the same family, I can't remember, where the little boy was like instructing the dad. He was like, "Daddy, go faster!" I was like, if I was pushing my kid for over 2 miles and they're telling me to go faster, I would be mad.
I think your specific words were, they're going to get out and walk.
Yeah, well then it'll be more difficult for everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll either end up carrying them or they'll run off onto someone's yard and start talking to strangers. Like, I don't know what kids do.
I was wondering where you're going with. Are they like a dog? They're just going to some other yard and do their business?
I mean, if they're wearing a diaper, they might be doing their business. It's not on someone's yard, but it's still
a possibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was fun. I think we did it in a decent amount of time.
Yeah. And we got nice shirts out of it. Yeah. Really soft.
They were very soft. That was nice. I don't know what else to say about it. You're running. You run through this area.
Yeah. I will say that I like the idea, and I probably would try to do it again in the future, because when you're eating later, you're like, you know that you've already worked out that day, even if it's only running for 30 minutes or less. It's not the biggest workout you could get. It's still better than nothing, and especially on a holiday known for eating a lot, I think it's a good healthy way to start the day.
I think the Fittrician around here were doing something on Thanksgiving where
they did a 75-minute workout.
Yeah, where you would burn like 700 calories.
We did not burn 700 calories.
Like maybe 250.
I think my watch when I run, my Apple Watch, like tracks the calories. Mm-hmm. And it says on Thursday's run that I burned 247.
So that was probably a little bit more, because I think men burn more calories doing the same thing just because they're bigger, I guess. I don't know. So that's around there, 250.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun. I look forward to doing more in the future. I think it'd be a
turkey trot or just like a little race?
Turkey trot. And I wouldn't call it a race because I'm not trying to beat anybody. There's no chance of me winning that. But I think we did good. And it's been a while since I actually ran, so afterwards my legs were like, what is this feeling? But it was fun.
Well, you did. For someone, you were like, oh, I'm not a big runner. Oh, I don't know. I thought we were going to be like walking more, but you ran. Well, you're also taller and have longer legs. But you ran for more than I did and running faster, and I was barely catching up. So I was definitely impressed with you.
No, thanks.
You're welcome.
I think my main issue is endurance. Building up cardio for that specifically.
Yeah. It's hard because when you're not used to running, it's the endurance that gets you, because not anyone, but it's easy to run like a short little sprint, but it's much harder to keep pace and keep your breathing in a good rhythm when you're running for longer.
And I also think it's mentally nice when you start realizing you're passing people. That's always fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just something that I guess mentally you're like, yeah, I'm beating you.
Even though you literally just said it's not about, you don't like to call it a race because it's not about
winning the race, but for sure I'm going to beat some people.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to let Big Johnny over here win. I'm going to beat him.
Big Johnny?
Yeah, I don't know. This random person.
You're trying to be offensive, calling him Big Johnny? Like a big guy or just like
just a
random
name.
dude? Okay.
Big Johnny.
Okay.
He could be tall. He could be short. It could be ironic.
Speaking of races, I think you would like, because Disney Run Disney has a bunch of different races. I'm actually doing the Princess Half Marathon and 10K in 3 months, like I literally just said 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
But they also have a Star Wars weekend.
Ooh.
Because usually if you're not familiar with the Disney races, they, I mean, I'm not a pro. I've only done one before. This will be my second. But mostly everybody dresses up in theme or in character. So like when I did the Thor 10K last November, like a little over a year ago, we all dressed up as different Marvel superheroes. That's right. It was a superhero weekend, but then each race has a specific theme. And the 10K race was a Thor 10K. So we dressed up as me, my friend, and her mom dressed up as Wonder Woman, and our costumes were awesome.
I would like to point out Wonder Woman is not related to Marvel at all, but
whatever.
It's still a superhero, so it counts.
It wasn't Marvel. It was a superhero weekend. I misspoke. But anyway, my point was that you might like the Star Wars one because then you can dress up as something not princessy or girly. I mean, I guess a girl could dress up as like Princess Leia or whatever.
Good job. That's a character in Star Wars.
That is a character in Star Wars. So maybe we could do that one. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Have to look more into it. But other than that, what we did this weekend, we actually, since, we're not working, we want to occupy our time. We went to Busch Gardens one day. There's a Busch Gardens in Tampa.
Saturday.
Yeah, one of the days. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, Saturday.
But, yeah, we went to Busch Gardens. It was pretty fun. I haven't ridden a roller coaster in a while, so I was a little nervous at first.
Yeah. Nothing to be nervous about, Adam. Nothing to be nervous about.
And then after we went on the first one, or when we got onto the first one, you started because you were giving, I don't know if you were giving me sass or you were just saying like, oh, it's going to be fine. I'm not nervous about roller coasters and anything. And then you got on and then you started getting nervous and then you just got more nervous throughout the day. I don't know.
Nervous? I don't know.
I was like the opposite where it takes me one roller coaster to get on and then I'm completely fine. But, yeah, I think it was a good day. Got a lot of walking in. We only rode a few roller coasters because the one we really wanted to ride, of course, when we got there, it said it was like under, what's the maintenance? Is that what is it?
Yeah,
what's
some sort of maintenance.
Technical difficulties, I guess you could say, which is not always what you want to hear about a roller coaster, but they said it was like a 2-hour wait. And we're like, we're not going to wait for that. So we just ended up walking through the rest of the park and leaving. But they were setting up for, as we were leaving it, I thought it was kind of nice because we got to see like all the Christmas lights that they were doing for, because Busch Gardens do like a Christmas town theme in all their parks. So we got to see some of the lights starting up and then like some families walking around and a lot of kids running around the Sesame Street area.
Yeah, there were a lot of kids.
My brother won a gerbil in one of the games. I forget which game it was.
In the arcade. Wasn't it the one with...
Oh, was it the ball tossing?
I already forgot. Oh, yeah, where they have, like, the plastic... Not bowls, but the plastic bins.
Yeah, and they're like...
And they're angled a little, and you literally just have to toss a ball into the bin. But the way that they're angled and I guess the material it's made out of, it makes for the balls
to bounce.
Easy for the balls to bounce out.
Yeah, there's like a trick to it, but it's still really difficult. You have to like get it really slow so it doesn't bounce out. Easier said than done. All those games are like, oh, I can do that. Except for the ring tossing thing. You have to toss a ring on top of a bottle. I'm like, does anybody win that? It seems rather impossible.
Rather impossible. It sounds so formal. But yeah. I don't like those arcade games because
they condition children for gambling.
It literally is gambling for children. That's what it is. Because you have to, for that one, you couldn't just pay for a game. You had to go buy their little arcade.
Well, you could pay for cash.
Card.
With cash.
Oh. Well, your brother bought the card, and then they only take 20 increments of $20. Like, okay, that's already encouraging you to spend more money. What if you just wanted to play one game, like 3 games for $5 at one arcade station? Now you have to play at
also, those
4.
games are rather expensive, too, to play.
Yeah.
You're already paying to get into the park, and then you have to pay more to play these games.
I was shocked by how expensive the tickets were. I guess I hadn't been to an amusement park in a while. Mm-hmm. I mean, I went to Disney last year, but I know Disney's expensive. But it was over $100 just for one day. I was like, okay, I'm never coming back.
Those season passes seem like they would be beneficial in the long run. Like if you go to that same park, like if it's close by often.
Yeah.
Because I've listened to people talk about it like on podcasts or stuff. This one guy I listened to, UFC fighter or whatever. He lives in LA and he specifically has like he has a 2-year-old kid, but he bought a season pass so they're able to go often, and they've probably already got their money's worth. Just because if you go enough, then it adds up. It's like our Epic Pass with skiing. If you go enough times, it's gonna pay for itself and then some.
Yeah.
Now
I'm glad we went because it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It would get out of the house and do fun things.
Not sure I would go back
to that specific one. I know I want to eventually go back to the Six Flags that's in Jackson, New Jersey. I think that's what it is that we were talking about.
Oh yeah, I would go there. I know. I mean, I would go. I don't know. I really like the Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia. I've been to that one a few times. Mm-hmm. So I'd probably go. I mean, I wouldn't fly there from Denver and make a specific trip. But if I were ever in that area or, I don't know, visiting someone that lived there, I would try to go there but buy tickets online in advance because then it's cheaper. And I know that park, and I kind of like it more than this one because
Six Flags in New Jersey is still my favorite amusement park, specifically with the roller coasters.
Well, those sound really scary.
Roller coaster wise, I think it's my favorite, but I would say I would like to scratch that because amusement park, you also have to get the theme in, and I really do like Universal and Adventure Island, which houses Harry Potter. So if you're going for theme area, then I'd probably go more towards Universal or anything really in Disney. But specifically roller coasters, I really enjoy the ones that are at Six Flags in New Jersey. There's one where that's I think the one where you have to stand up for one of the roller coasters, Green Lantern. That's where I almost blacked out because I accidentally crouched and it locked in place. So all the force going down like went to my calves and it really hurt. So I'll never go on a standing roller coaster ever again. But they have a lot of like the tallest roller coaster, King Ka Nitro, which is really cool. And Superman, which I really enjoy. That's the one where you get to lay down flat like you're flying. So there's a lot of fun stuff there. And I think you would enjoy it if you didn't get nervous.
Never been.
But
I'll explain why I like the Busch Gardens in Virginia.
Yeah, go for it. I think we've been there together, right?
I thought, maybe when you lived in Virginia Beach, I think we did go to Busch Gardens.
Yeah, I think we did
for once. A day trip. Oh my gosh, they have a bunch of new rides. But I like their roller coasters. I like the Alpengeist. That
does sound familiar.
Does a lot of inversions, so I like that one. Apollo's Chariot's just like a classic where it goes up really far and then it drops and then it just does a lot of cool stuff like that. There's the Griffin that has the 200-foot drop, and I think that's the one that has a 90-degree or almost 90-degree drop. And then there's 2 water rides that I like. Maybe there's just one. No, Escape from Pompeii, where you're like in a wooden thing, or you're not in a wooden. You're like in a little boat thing, and then you're going through Pompeii, and then you go down this big slide, and it splashes. And then there's another ride, which is a log flume, and that one is like an old sawmill, and you're in this makeshift wooden log, and then it's more of a water ride.
Sounds cool.
So
I don't know if we got to ride all the stuff when we were there.
We definitely didn't.
Because I feel like some were down for maintenance and things of that nature. Because that seems like it always happens at amusement parks. There's always one ride that's down for maintenance.
Yeah. And the other thing I like about this Busch Gardens is that it's right by Water Country, USA. So if you're there for the summer, there's a water park that's like right there. And it has a lot of really nice... It's not like a lame water park where it's just like one slide. It's pretty cool.
That's like the... if we're going to compare... amusement parks that we're talking about. The Six Flags in Jersey, they have Hurricane Harbor, which is like that as well. So, getting kind of a lot of similarities here. Which I like Hurricane Harbor. I used to never like roller coasters. Never wanted to go on them. And then finally, I forget where I was for like my first roller coaster. Like, I think my first roller coaster was actually in Wildwood, Jersey. They have like a little small amusement park, and it was one of the like ones where your feet dangle. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to tough it out. And I enjoyed it. I was like, oh yeah, that was fun. But it always gets back to the point where I get nervous beforehand. But I'm starting to get. No, not starting to get, but I do like roller coasters once I get on them. And I mentioned that I think my favorite one is like Hulk in Universal. I think because it goes pretty smoothly, even with the loop-de-loops and everything. Yeah, it's just the theme and all that jazz. But
do you remember what age you were when you went on your first roller coaster?
I have to say that I feel like I was in my like teenagers. Like
me too.
14.
I like practically flipped a switch as far as I do this a lot, I guess, in life.
Yeah.
But I used to be so judgy about roller coasters. I was like, that is so dangerous. Y'all are just asking for an accident on this stupid ride. Like, so unsafe, scary. Why would you do it? And then I remember in high school, I think it was in ninth grade, I went to Hershey Park with one of my friends. Because really random, but both of our parents worked for the same company, and the company was having a company picnic. So I think our parents went, and then we went on rides together. And she was like, "Oh, let's go on this. Let's go on a roller coaster." And I was like, "No, I'm really scared. I don't do roller coasters." And then it was literally
peer pressure you into it.
I guess that's how all things happen in my life. Someone peer pressures me, and then eventually I'm like,
that's not good.
Okay. Not to everything, but to things that I'm, I guess, open enough to be peer pressured into. But we went on a wooden one, and I literally kept my eyes closed the entire time. The entire time. As soon as I got on, I closed my eyes, and I just felt, obviously you still feel everything, the thrill and like the drops and stuff. And then after that, she was like, "How was it?" I was like, "This is so fun." And then I did it like 4 more times, never opened my eyes.
You didn't open your eyes still?
I kept my eyes closed. And then I don't know why I decided to open them. Maybe it was like, oh, maybe just a little peek because I wanted to see. And then I got even more scared. I was like, oh my goodness, this is, whew.
I can't imagine. You had to get, like, if you did that with like the spinny ones, you'd get motion sick.
I think I found it. I'm not sure if it was a wooden one at Hershey Park, and I think it was called Comet. But I'm trying to see if there's any other wooden ones. Oh, there's another wooden one, Lightning Racer, where you like are kind of up on a parallel track as the group next to you. It seats 2 groups at a time on separate roller coaster not tracks, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Rides. And you both start at the same time, and then you're like racing. You're not next to each other, but they're, I guess, distance-wise, the tracks are about the same. And then there's always a winner. So I thought that was fun. Hershey Park has a lot of good roller coasters, I would say.
I've never actually, that's one that I've never been to. And I think we've been mentioning that we should go eventually.
I mean, it's
when we're back on the East Coast.
It's so close to where my parents live. It's like, I'll look it up now, but I think it's an hour away. Maybe hour 15. But I like it because it's also chocolate themed, so it's really cute.
Chocolate.
They have a tour of the Hershey Park or the Hershey chocolate plant or something like that nearby. So, I can't seem to find. Accidentally put an address in Serbia.
That's going to take a while to drive.
One typo, and there it is. It's an hour 24 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, easy day trip.
Easy. It's like a day trip here to the mountains.
Yeah.
What also we did weekend, we went to Clearwater Beach, which is a beach.
Very nice.
In Tampa. My parents used to have a condo there, so I was sort of familiar with the area, but it's built up now with things in the area, new shops and stuff. But it was cool to walk around with my wife there. Because every time I was there, I was like a teenager, like in high school or so, and things. And I would walk around by myself because I didn't have anybody. I didn't have like a girlfriend or anything at the time. So I would just walk by myself, just explore the beach and up and down and chill on the beach. But nothing too crazy. But this time it was nice. I actually be able to walk and enjoy it with the love of my life.
No. Yeah, I liked walking around. I've never been to Clearwater Beach. But when you land in the Tampa airport on the little tram that takes you from the terminal with the gates to the main terminal, I always see a sign about how Clearwater Beach is like 25 minutes away and it's one of the nicest in the U.S. And I was like, I've been to Florida so many times. I mean, mostly recently to visit your family because I don't really travel there for vacations besides Disney, but I don't go to Disney that often. Anyway, and I've never been to Clearwater Beach, so I was like, I'd like to go and check it out.
It has some nice sand, to say the least.
It does.
I do enjoy good sand that doesn't burn the crap out of my feet when I walk on it. It's very soft, nice, white sand. It's beautiful. The best. I don't think there's much more to say about it. Finally, the main event of the evening. We played a sport.
Of the evening? We played this in the morning on Sunday.
No, I mean, I'm saying main event of this podcast, baby.
Oh,
like the main event of this.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, back to my hype. But
sorry.
I know in the past we've probably mentioned how I've been interested in playing golf and things of that nature, but I'm always iffy about the cost of everything. I feel like we found a great compromise because it does the same thing. It's like exact same sport except for clubs. And a ball, you substitute that for cheap discs, and it's called disc golf. There's a PDGA and everything. And it
Professional
was a lot of fun.
Disc Golf Association.
It was a lot of fun. For brief synopsis of anybody that doesn't know disc golf, there's different types of discs, which I found out, which I actually didn't know going into it. There's like driver, mid-range, putter, which have different numbers which correspond to how fast it flies. So if a driver has a higher number, it means it cuts through the air quicker. On this one edge, there's like fade and curve and all this information on the discs. But we got a basic beginner set to just go play. A lot harder than it looks, to say the least. I mean, people have thrown frisbees before, but I think the hardest was like the driving because it's really far away and you have to like do a running start and chuck it. But it's kind of hard to aim when you're moving and you haven't done it for ever, really. But I really enjoyed it. But you basically throw it, you go to where it lands, you then take either that disc or another disc from that spot, try to keep throwing it to this basket type thing where it has like a basket on the bottom and there's chains attached to it, and you hit the chains, your frisbee falls into it. Yeah, I thought it was a fun time. I enjoyed it. I think you enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I had never even heard of it or played before.
Me either.
So at first I was like, okay, what do I do? What do I expect? But I agree, it was fun. Definitely a lot more budget friendly than golf because you don't have to pay for clubs, you don't have to pay for green fees or whatever it's called when you pay to actually play.
It's free to play
because it's in a park usually.
Yeah, and you're not chipping at the ground or anything. You're
just throwing literally a frisbee.
And the frisbees are easier to spot if you throw them awry, which happened to me.
Yeah, so I liked that. I also liked that because for golf, you have all those clubs to lug around, or I guess if you're in a golf cart, every time after you hit, you have to get in your golf cart, but it was like a nice walk. A walk in the park, literally. But yeah, I liked it. We only had 3 discs each, but I think that was plenty for our beginner noob status.
But I'm so high. Like, I've been interested in finding like a sport or something to play together specifically.
Yeah.
Or just something to do, but not something that's like really expensive. So this is sort of meets those needs, and I'm looking forward to playing some more.
This is it, baby.
There's some disc golf courses around here, which I want to check out. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it because it's the reason I like I was interested in golf to begin with is the concept is very easy to understand. You just try to get the ball in the hole in the shortest amount of time, and it's the same concept here. Get the frisbee in the basket in the short amount of throws. I like the simplistic nature of it, and you can also, like, if you wanted to go by yourself, it's easy to play by yourself too, and like practice and things of that nature. So you don't always need somebody to play with. Like if you're trying to play basketball or any other sport, you need to get other people to come. And with golf, you need at least somebody else to play with, because I think to register a tee time, I feel like you can't do it just by yourself. I mean, maybe you can, but it would just be expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, essentially, it's a very similar concept to golf. It's just replacing, I mean, you already said it, but replacing the clubs with the frisbees. Just throwing them. I liked it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Literally never heard of it. Who was it that mentioned it? Your mom or your uncle?
I think it was both. I think my mom mentions, like, oh, you can go play disc golf because there's a place literally a 10-minute walk from my house.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. We'll check it out. Why not? It'd be fun to do. Another thing to get out of the house so we're not just sitting in the house all day. Because we did that on Sunday.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed it. I'm looking at disc golf bags now, not as we speak, but I was yesterday.
I enjoy sharing an Amazon account with you because I know you don't online shop often, but when you do, I like it because I see like what Amazon recommends to me, and I'm like, huh, this is the one thing Adam looked at this week, whereas every day I just scroll through and I'm like, oh, look at this ridiculous thing that I definitely don't need, but definitely would love to waste time looking at. Okay.
But I can see how it could be fun in this aspect of just playing, like especially if you start getting better at it, it would be more fun to play. And then 2, you can collect all these different color discs, which I feel like that's right up my alley of just getting different things. Of collecting different colors and cool things. You
like collecting things, but you don't like buying stuff.
Yeah.
So you just like purchasing things and then holding on to them? Or purchasing items that are part of a collection?
I'll get rid of anything that I don't feel like using.
I'm trying to get in your head.
I mean, that's why I like, I don't want to say, I like card games. That's always fun. Like specific board games that are based around collecting cards and building like a deck. That's why I like some like digital card games where you can build your own deck and you have to collect unlock the cards basically to play. But I don't want anything like, because I think after a certain point I don't want anything physical to collect anymore, just because it becomes kind of a hassle when you have that much stuff, especially now we're in an apartment. I don't have room for, like, if I start collecting something that's cumbersome.
That's true.
So yeah, and it's not, I don't know, it just seems like at least if I collect these discs, or it's weird to call them, like you would say disc golf discs, because you're technically saying, oh, I'm getting discs for disc golf.
Yeah, we're still iffy on the terminology,
but at least these things will get use, you know? Like if I collect more and I can use them and understand like which ones I like more, they're actually not just sitting on a shelf somewhere collecting dust. They're actually collecting dust, but just out in the field because I throw them into the ground by accident sometimes.
Yeah, and the other thing is, for golf, when you have a bunch of clubs, it's not like you're ever going to throw your club because you're using your club. You're holding onto your club and using that to hit the ball. But in disc golf, the only equipment you have is this disc, and you're throwing it. So in that sense, the disc is also the golf ball, and you need to have more than one disc, because twice I threw my disc into the little it never landed in the water, but twice in like the little grassy area on this slight slanty hill right above where the stream was. And Adam ran to get it for me both times.
Because I'm a gentleman.
Yes, you are. But yeah, that was rough. Only had 3 discs to begin with per person, and I already almost threw one straight into the water.
But as I mentioned, the benefit of it being a frisbee, it's easier to spot, because if you hit a golf ball in the water,
forget it.
You'll less likely to find it, because you threw one in the rough, not in the water. Really rough, and it was pretty easy to spot because it's a bright blue Frisbee just chilling in this patch. So, which I liked. If it was a golf ball, it would be really hard to find. But other than that, that's a sport that I want to get into. I think I kind of want to play it this weekend. So maybe sometime this Sunday, go to a spot nearby.
Over dinner, Adam was like, what do you want to do this weekend? And I mentioned I want to get a Christmas tree. I might want to go skiing because the mountains have gotten a lot of snow.
I want to go skiing too.
And then I said, not as enthusiastically as the Christmas tree and the skiing idea, but I mentioned, we could play disc golf. And then you got really excited, and you're like, oh, disc golf! It's like, okay, is this a test? Was I supposed to say disc golf regardless of whether or not I want to?
But if we go play it, I need to at least bring a backpack because I don't want to carry it in my hands the whole time.
I had a freaking coach purse that I had to carry around with me and worry about gently placing somewhere, so.
Next time we'll know. Do not bring purses.
Well, I also thought we were going to stop by your mom's house before.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a deal breaker to hold on to the purse, but it was just a little extra thing to deal with.
I can understand that. But if you don't want to go Sunday, I'll just go by myself.
I want to play. I need to get better because I don't want to keep losing.
Well, I'm not that good either.
Well, better than me.
But like I said, I feel like the only reason I'm quote-unquote better is that I'm able to slightly throw it farther when we stand still, which is a benefit for after we drive, and then I can throw it closer to the net.
Yeah. That's true.
So that's the only handicap you have. But I feel like once you get used to the throwing motion and everything, you'll get better at it as well. I mean, the more you play, the better you'll get, right?
That's right.
That's right, everybody. This has been episode 26 of Husband and Wife Talks.
Nice accent.
Thank you. But seriously, this has been episode 26. Oh, did you want to... I'm sorry. I missed the bottom part that I chuckled about. Did you want to talk about JTV? Real quick. The quick interlude of...
JTV. Is this Candle Chats?
Is this Candle Chats? How's this Candle Chats?
I don't know.
This is like TV Chats.
Okay. TV Chats. Well, I don't remember if I mentioned this show.
I think you have like 3 or 4 times on this
Literally podcast. Every podcast I mention it. And I'm like, I don't know if I've mentioned it. I probably have. I definitely have. But I'm watching Jane the Virgin on Netflix. It's hilarious. It's probably the most dramatic show I've ever watched. Even more dramatic than The Bachelor, because in The Bachelor, a lot of it is fake because they're trying to create drama. But this is just fiction. I mean, it's just a normal show, not real life story. I'm really struggling with my words. But yeah, hilarious, very dramatic, very, what's the word? Can't expect what's coming next. Just so many twists and turns. Saw an episode today. It was crazy. I wish I could say what happened, but then that would literally spoil so many things if you are like, oh, I want to check that show out. So you should check it out if you like funny dramas. Very dramatic, very funny, very goofy. Yeah. Let me know if you like it because I could use a buddy to rant about the show with. Okay, thanks.
That has been Marta's TV Talk, starring Marta.
True.
Anything to say before I wrap it up?
Nope.
No? You good?
I'm good.
This has been episode 26 of Husband and Wife Talks. We appreciate you all for hanging in there and listening to us on this fine day. Remember, you can rate the podcast on iTunes. Just scroll down on the library feed. Give us 5 stars. Rate us. Then share us with your friends and family. We are available everywhere. Stitcher. We're on YouTube, the podcast audio form. We're on TuneIn. We're on iTunes, as I mentioned. Google Play. We're on basically every app that you can listen to podcasts. On Spotify, too. What's the matter, babe? You got a wide-eyed look.
I'm watching the King Dakar video.
Oh.
Getting a mini heart attack.
Roller coaster in Six Flags, Jersey area. But yeah, also remember, you can email us stuff at hotpod@gmail.com. The link will be in the description. You can follow us on Instagram and stuff. All that stuff to find us, like facebook.com and Twitter, is in the description. So go to the description and click it. It's easier to do that than try to listen to me say it all out loud, and then you trying to fumble along with typing it into your website, because that's so hard, or your search bar. I don't know. But yeah, this has been episode 26. We appreciate you all for being here. We love you all. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.